My name is jennalyn A. Bandoquillo, and today I'm going to present my persuasive speech, and the artist that I choose is Fernando Amorsolo. So, I'm going to tell you first who is Fernando Amorsolo. Fernando Cueto Amorsolo, May 30, 1892 and April 26, 1972, is one of the most important artists in history of painting in the Philippines. Amorsolo was a portraitist and painter of rural Philippine landscapes. He is popularly known for his craftsmanship and mastery in the use of light. Born in Paco, Manila, he earned a degree from the Liceo de Manila Art School in 1909. I'm going to tell you his biography. Early life and education. Fernando Amorsolo was born on May 30, 1892 in Paco, Manila, to Pedro Amorsolo, a bookkeeper, and Bonifacia Cueto. Amorsolo spent his childhood in the Camarines Norte, where he studied a public school and was tutored at home in Spanish reading and writing. After his father's death, Amorsolo and his family moved to Manila to live with Don Fabian de la Rosa, his mother's cousin and a Philippine painter. At the age of 13, Amorsolo became an apprentice to de la Rosa, who would eventually become to advocate and guide to Amorsolo's painting career. During this time, Amorsolo's mother embroidered to earn money, while Amorsolo helped by selling watercolor postcards to a local bookstore for 10 centavos each. Amorsolo's brother Pablo was also a painter. Amorsolo's first success as a young painter came in 1908 when his painting Levendo Periodico took second place at the Bazaar Escolta, a contest organized by the Association International de Artistas. Between 1909 and 1914, Amorsolo enrolled at the art school of Liceo de Manila, where he earned honors for his paintings and drawings. After graduating from the Liceo, he entered the University of the Philippines School of Fine Arts, while De La Rosa worked at that time. During college, before the World War, During college, Fernando Amorsolo's primary influences were the Spanish court painter Diego Velázquez, John Singer Sargent, Andres Zorn, and Joaquin Sorella y Bastida, and Claude Monet, Pierre Agustin Renoir, and Ignacio Zaloaga. Amorsolo's most notable work as a student and Liceo was his paintings of a young man and a young woman in the garden, which won him the first prize in the art school exhibition during his graduation year. To make money during school, Amorsolo joined competitions and did illustrations for various Philippine publications, including Severio Riesa, first novel in Tagalog, Parusa ng Diyos, Punishment, and Madaling Araw. He is also illustrated for the religious fashion books. Amorsolo graduated with medals from the University of the Philippines in 1914. And that is the biography of Fernando Amorsolo. Now, let's move on to his career. After graduating from the University of the Philippines, Amorsolo worked as a draftman for the Bureau of Public Works, as a chief artist at the Pacific Commercial Company, and as a part-timer instructor of the University of the Philippines, where he would work for 38 years. After 3 years as an instructor and commercial artist, Amorsolo was given a grant study at the Academia de San Fernando in Madrid, Spain by Filipino businessman Enrique Zubel de Ayala. During his 7 months in Spain, Amorsolo sketched at the museums along the streets of Madrid, experimenting with the use of light and color. Through the Ayala, through the Ayala Grant, Amorsolo was also able to visit New York, where he encountered post-war Impressionism and Cubism, which would be a major influences of his works. Amorsolo set up his own studio, his return to Manila, and painted prodigiously during the 1920s and the 1930s. His first important painting, The Rice Planting in 1922, which appeared on posters and tourist brochures during one of the most popular images and Commonwealth era. Beginning in 1930s, Amorsolo's work was exhibited widely both in the Philippines and abroad. His optimistic pastoral images set the tone for the Philippine painting before World War II. Except to his darker War II era paintings, Amorsolo painted quiet and peaceful scenes throughout his career. Amorsolo was sought after by influential Filipinos including Luis Araneta, Antonio Araneta, and George Vargas. Amorsolo also became the favorite Philippine artist of United States officials and visitors in the Philippines. Due to his popularity, Amorsolo had to resort to photographing his works and pasted and mounted them in the album. Prospective past patrons could then choose from the catalog of his works. Amorsolo did not create exact replicas of his trademark themes. He created the paintings by varying some elements. His works later appeared on the cover and pages of children's textbooks, in novels, in commercial designs, in cartoons, and illustrations for the Philippine publications such as the Independent Philippine Magazine, Talimbang, Renacimiento Filipino, and Excelsior. He was director of the University of the Philippines College of Fine Arts from 1938 to 1952. During the 1950s until his death in 1972, Amorsolo averaged to finishing 10 paintings a month. However, during his later years, diabetes, cataracts, arthritis, headaches, and dizziness, and the death of two sons affected the execution of his works. Amorsolo underwent a cataract operation when he was 70 years old. A surgery did not impede him from drawing and painting. 2 months after being confirmed at the St. Luke Hospital in Manila, Amorsolo died of a heart failure in April 24 and 1972 at the age of 79. 4 days after his death, Amorsolo was conferred as the first Philippine national artist in painting at the Cultural Center of the Philippines by Ferdinand E. Marcos. And that is the career of Fernando Amorsolo. Now, let's move on to his personal life. During his lifetime, Amorsolo was married twice and had 4 children in 1916. He married Salud George, with whom he had 6 children. After George's death in 1931, Amorsolo married Maria del Carmen Zaragoza, with whom he had 8 more children. Among her daughters are Silvia Amorsolo, Lazo, and Luz Amorsolo. 5 of Amorsolo's children became painters themselves. Amorsolo was a close friend to the Philippine sculptor Guillermo Tolentino, the creator of the Caloocan City Monument for Philippine hero Andres Bonifacio. And that is the personal life of Fernando Amorsolo. And now, let's go to his style and techniques of paintings. Women and landscapes. Amorsolo is best known for his idealized paintings of women from the countryside and his illuminated landscapes, which often portrayed traditional Filipino costumes, culture, fiestas, and occupations. His pastoral works presented an imagined of nationhood in counterpoint to American colonial rule and were important to the formation of Philippine national identity. Amorsolo was educated in the classical tradition and aimed to achieve his Philippine version of the Greek ideal for human form. In his paintings of Filipino women, Amorsolo rejected Western ideals of beauty in favor of Filipino ideals, was fond of basing faces of his subjects on members of his family. The typical Amorsolo women were brown, fairy complexioned, young, beautiful, and slender figured. He said that the woman he painted should a rounded face, not an oval type often presented to us in the newspapers and magazine illustrations. The eyes should be exceptionally lively, not the dreamy, sleepy type of characterizes. From the Mongolian, the nose should be blue of the blunt from but firm and strongly marked. So, the ideal Filipino beauty should not necessarily be white complexioned, nor of the dark brown color, or the typical Malayan, but the clear skin of fresh, colored type which we often witness when we met a blushing girl. Amorsolo used a natural light in his paintings and developed black backlighting technique, which became his artistic trademark and greatest contribution to Philippine painting. In a typical Amorsolo painting, figures are outlined against a characteristic glow, and intense light on the part of the canvas highlights nearby details. Philippine sunlight was a constant feature of Amorsolo's work. He is believed to have painted only one rainy daily scene. And let's go to the sketches of Amorsolo. Amorsolo was an insistent sketch artist, often drawing sketches at his home, at Luneta Park, and in the countryside. He drew the people he saw around him, from Filipino farmers to city jewelers coping with the Japanese occupation. Amorsolo impressionistic tendencies, which may be seen in his paintings as well, were at their height in the sketches. His figures were not completely finished but were mere suggestions of the image. Now let's go to the historical paintings and portraits. Amorsolo also painted a series of historical paintings or pre-colonial and Spanish organization events. Amorsolo, making of the Philippine flag in particular, was widely reproduced. His The First Baptism in the Philippines required numerous detailed sketches and colored studies of its elements. These diverse elements were meticulously and carefully set by the artist before being transferred to the final canvas. For his pre-colonial and 16th century depiction of the Philippines, Amorsolo referred to the written accounts of Antonio Figalata. After available reading materials and visual sources, he consulted with the Philippine scholars of the time, Padro de Tavera and Espania de los Santos. Amorsolo also painted all portraits of the Philippine General Emilio Aguinaldo, Philippine presidents, and other prominent Filipino individuals. And that is all the historical paintings and portraits of Amorsolo. Now, let's go to his major works. In 1920, he painted My Wife's Salute. In 1921, Made in a Stream or JSIS collection. 1922, Rice Planting. 1928, El Ciego Central Bank of the Philippines collection. 1931, The Conversation of the Filipinos. 1936, The Lagang Bukid. 1939, Afternoon Meal of Workers. 1942, The Rape of Manila. 1942 also, The bombing of Independencia. 1943, the Mestiza National Museum of the Philippines collection. 1944, the explosion. 1945, defense of a Filipina woman. 1945, the burning of Manila. 1946, planting rice. 1958, Sunday morning, going to town. The art and also the first baptism in the Philippines, Princesa Aduja, sale of Panay, sale early Sulu wedding, early Filipino state wedding, traders, Sikatuna, the first mass in the Philippines, the building of Intramuros, burning of the idol, assassination of Governor Bustamante, making of the Philippine flag, la destruction de Manila por los salvajes japoneses, Bataan, next is corner of hell, the next is one casualty, and the last one is El Violinista or the violinist. And now let's go to the awards and achievements that he in 1908, second prize Bazaar Escolta. 1922, first prize Commercial Industrial Fair in Manila, Carnival. 1929, first prize New York. Or for afternoon meal of rice workers, also known as Noonday Meal of the Rice Workers. 1940, Outstanding University of the Philippines Alumnus Award. 1959, Gold Medal in National Coliseum. 1961, Rizal Pro Parsha Award. 1961, Honorary Doctorate in the Humanities far from the Eastern University. 1963, Diploma of Merit from the University of the Philippines. 1963, Patnubay ng Sining at Kanlungan Award from the City of Manila. 1963, Republic Cultural Heritage Award. 1972, Gawad CCP para sa Sining from the Cultural Center of the Philippines. In 1972, Fernando Amorsolo became the first Filipino to be distinguished as the Philippines National Artist in Painting. He was named as the Grand Old Man of the Philippine Artist. During the inauguration of Manila, his Halaneta Art Center, where his paintings were exhibited on January 23, 1969. I will explain also the major exhibitions of Fernando Amorsolo. Outside of the Philippines, his exhibitions were held in Belgium at the Exposition of Panama in 1914, at one shown of the Grand Central Gallery in New York City in 1925, and at the National Museum of Tehran on November 6, 1948. During the 1931 Paris Exposition, Amorsolo exhibited one of his anecdotal paintings, The Conversation of the Filipinos. Amorsolo's entries at the exposition in Panama were a portrait of U.S. President Woodrow Wilson and the piece of La Muerte de Socrates. At the 1948 National Museum in Tehran, a Amorsolo exhibition was sponsored by the Art Association of Philippines. In 1950, Amorsolo exhibited two more historical paintings, Faith Among the Ruins and the Baptism of Raja Humabon at the Missionary Art Exhibit in Rome. 1979, Fernando Amorsolo's legacy as a painter was celebrated through an exhibition of his works and the Art Center of Manila. His art was also featured in a 2007 exhibition in Havana. And Fernando Amorsolo was born on May 30, 1922 from Paco, Manila, Captain Sea General of the Philippine Spanish Empire. He died on April 24, 1972 at the age of 79 in Quezon City, Philippines. And then his resting place in Loyola Memorial Park or in Marikina, Philippines. His education is University of the Philippines, known Amorsolo is known for painting, and his spouse is Salud Tolentino George, and she also died in 1931. And that is all, the my presentation about the national artist Fernando Amorsolo. Thank you, ma'am. And I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm going to show you the pictures of Fernando Amorsolo. This is his face. And then the artwork or the paintings that she do here. This is the planting rice. Yes. And the second one, this is the maiden in the stream. Yes, that is. And then this is the best one, the Dalagang Bukid. This is his painting, the Dalagang Bukid. And then the last part is also this one, the planting rice. And this is all the examples of Fernando Amorsolo. I think this he have many paintings, but this is all just a print tab. Yeah, just an example. Thank you.